podcast. Our aim is to encourage young people to learn more about the science, technology, engineering, arts and maths sectors and smash stereotypes by listening to workers from a variety of jobs.
Our digital leader hosts today are myself, Rafi and Adam, and we are joined by Erin, who is a medical student. Hi Erin, how are you today?
I'm great, how are you?
Good. What or who inspired you to want to be a doctor?
So when I was at school and when I was younger, my mum never kept well, and that's always interested me because I used to wonder why that happened, and I used to want to be able to make that better, and that made me think maybe one day I'd be able to make a difference for somebody else or somebody else's mum who didn't keep well. And that was really the first thing that inspired me to be a doctor, because it made me realise how much I enjoyed helping people.
Nice. Can you tell us about what you are studying at university?
Yes, so I'm in second year at Glasgow University and I'm studying medicine. So that means that I'm learning to be a doctor. So what I learn about is how the body works. And sometimes when people aren't feeling well, the body doesn't work the way that it normally should. And what I learn about is how we can make that better and how we can make people feel better because of that. So what we need to learn is how can we fix it when the body goes wrong, and how can we make people feel better and comfort them and support them and reassure them that they're going to be feeling better soon.
That's very interesting. Are there any stereotypes in the study of medicine?
Yes, so one of the stereotypes in people that study medicine is often people who are studying to be doctors. They have maybe attended a private school, or their parents are doctors, or people in their family are doctors. So this is something that's quite common in medicine, and for me, nobody in my family was a doctor. I didn't go to a private school either. So something that I'm quite passionate about and I do a lot of work for is trying to get people whose family aren't doctors, or people who didn't go to a private school, to try and get an interest in medicine, because doctors are there to make everybody feel better, not just people whose family were doctors or people who went to private schools. So it's really important that we have doctors from all kinds of backgrounds, because we're there to treat everyone, and the patients that doctors treat are from all kinds of backgrounds, so it's really important that doctors are representative of that, and it's really important that we start to break these stereotypes, and that's something that I do a lot of work to try and get encourage people who aren't from kind of stereotypical backgrounds to try and apply to medicine and become doctors, because it's really important to encourage them to do that.
Nice. Did you always want to be a doctor?
So I used to want to be a pharmacist when I was younger, and there's a couple of reasons for that. So I've always been interested in science, and I've always been interested in helping people. So those are things that doctors and pharmacists both do. I knew that to be a doctor, I knew that I had to work really hard, and I knew that it was difficult. And I didn't think I would be able to do that. I wasn't sure if I was smart enough to do that, or if I had the ability to be able to do that. And being a pharmacist is a really great job, but to me that was something that seemed that I was more able to do. So for a long time I wanted to be a pharmacist instead, and eventually I decided I wanted to try and be a doctor, and I gave it my best shot, and I'm studying to be a doctor now. So I think probably the lesson to take from that is you shouldn't hold yourself back.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
What advice or tips would you give young people for thinking of a job in the STEAM industry?
That's a great question. So I think I would probably tell people, just as I was saying there, don't hold yourself back. If there's something you want to do and there's something you're interested in, then there's not any reason you can't try. You should definitely, if it's something you're interested in, you can find out more about it, and you can look more into it, and there's no reason that you can't do anything that you put your mind to, and you can't give it a try. So I think my main piece of advice would be, don't hold yourself back from anything. You can always give something a try, and do your best, and then you've done everything you can to get what you want.
Really, that's interesting. Thank you, Erin, for telling us about what you're doing at university. It is really nice to hear that people from all different backgrounds are being encouraged to apply for medicine. We hope you do well in your future career. Thank you to all our listeners for turning into episode 3 of the Full Steam Ahead podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.